Galactic Standard Date. Year 11356. Day 91. Sol Standard Date 4th of the 3rd, 3267. An old raccoon eyed Basilisk from the side of the room for a while, watching the various races make their introductions. After most of the council had met with the Terran, he decided it was his time. He walked over towards Basilisk with a confidence in his step that he hadn't had moments ago. "I am most pleased to make your acquaintance, child. My name is Nadim. I hope that your race and my own may get along well for the foreseeable future. I do wish to let you know this old man will be watching you. You are accepted, not trusted. There are strange cults with you at the center already. On top of that, you look as lethal as a devil," he said. Basilisk cracked a fang smile. "It is nice to meet you as well, though I am fairly certain you don't know how old I am. I was one of the very first to take all of the flesh from my body. I was one of the very first humans to become clinically immortal. I don't even need the fancy time tech, I just can't age. I am metal with nanites buffing out the age of my metals and circuits constantly, not to mention the fact that time is funky in the Vale. In light of that, I doubt that I am a child to you, but your warning is appreciated. I won't do anything to harm your people. I don't wish for these cults either, but they just kinda happen. Groker being entwined with an actual god, I guess," he said, with a shrug before staring deep into the old raccoon's eyes. "I can't help how I look either. I used to look super different, but when you're stuck in hell with things that like to grab you, you put spikes on yourself. I'm all black Veil still because anything you put inside the Veil will conform to the Veil's own physics in some way, shape or form. For example, if I opened an unshielded rift in this very chamber, every single scrap of metal, cloth and plastic would look warped and twisted, just like me. The Veil is a warped and twisted dimension that saw the death of the Allfather. The Veil, in turn, twists everything that enters it. If you took a sword and threw it in the Veil for a few years, you could pull it back out, and it wouldn't even be a recognizable material any longer. Its form would change, its materials would change, and it would become tainted with the Veil itself as it was absorbed into the material," he said. Nadim went wide-eyed for a moment before scowling and walking away. Basilisk waved in the next one. It looked to be another fish tank, but he couldn't see what was in it. The fish tank hovered over to him and hit the lights that were shining onto the stage. Basilisk's eyes widened as the creature floated to him. "My name is Fuki. Do not fear me. I know my form may resemble those you fight, but I am no threat to you. I wish for our people to get along well, though it is my fear that my people will face discrimination amongst yours for our resemblance to the tentacled monstrosities that you fought in space. I would appreciate it if you just gave me the bad news now. If you believe my people will face discrimination, let it be known now. I beg of you, don't give us false hope," she said, with a tinge of sadness. Basilisk smiled at the little cuttlefish as she tried to act confident while hiding behind some coral. "Meeting you is a pleasure, small one. You are actually far from feared by my people already. There is quite the large amount of people who love and care for your distant cousins as if they were their own kin. You are an incredibly adorable little thing, and I would be hard-pressed to believe that anyone would hurt you," he said, as he thought to himself. "Cat's already out of the bag on the fact that we already know of their kind. Might as well just tell her flat out that she's adorable to our standards." Fuki changed into a myriad of reddish colors before going nigh invisible. You said I'm adorable? Well, that's, not what I was expecting. This is certainly an enlightening revelation as, well, most of the galaxy finds my kind to be repulsive. This is the first time that any aliens have told me I was adorable," she said. Basilisk smiled warmly at her. "Aw, I'm glad that we could be friends at least, though it is sad that the rest of the galaxy finds your kind repulsive. Well, we have to get this show on the road. I would love to chat at length next time," he said, as he waved the next one over. The being that stepped out of the shadows was possibly the most colourful and gaudy thing he had seen in his life, and he had seen Catherine's room. The peacock began to swagger into the light of the stage. It poofed its tail feathers out in a show of colours as it introduced itself. "I am Madame Tra. I am the serene colour of the entreaty. Well, are you in awe of my fantastic plumage yet? I am, after all, quite interested in some of the more exotic activities. And you are very exotic," she said, while fluffing out her plumage. Basilisk blinked in disbelief, and Amrath just glared at the bird from Basilisk's shoulder. Basilisk snapped out of his confusion after what felt like an eternity. Maybe some other time, Madam Cha. I am none the less pleased to make your acquaintance. May our people prosper together, he said. Madame Cha fluffed their plumage some more, and then took a few steps closer to Basilisk before turning and letting her feathers brush against Basilisk's thigh before walking away. Then until next time, I can't wait to see what you have beneath that metal, she said. Basilisk didn't even know what to say. He just decided to bury that whole thing and forget it happened, as he waved in the next council member. This one was hopping to him. The little bunny made its grand entrance onto the stage with a somewhat shaky set of jumps before landing several feet away from Basilisk. I am called Ven. I am but an elected representative from the kingdom of Razan peoples. I do not want any trouble. I will not lie, I am terrified of you. You could kill me with your little toe, but I stand before you as Thomas Peer. Thusly, I cannot be allowed to make a damn fool of myself. I will put aside my innate instinct to run in the hope that you will not burn my wells, or at the very least, I hope that you will not allow these space yammy to burn my wells, he said, visibly shaking. Basilisk knelt down as close as he could to the rabbit. Do not worry, small one, you are considered a friend. My people will do all we can to support you. We will not allow your kingdom to meet its doom. Do not fear my people, for we have nothing but love to give you, he said. The Razan leapt off the stage as quickly as he had come, though significantly less shaky. Last but not least, this one looked familiar. My name is Kane. I come representing the Ateni People's Republic, and I am formally requesting to have my people returned, he said, exhaustion and fear clear in his voice. Basilisk nodded and looked behind himself. Pleased to meet you, Kane. Sorry for keeping them. They were apparently formally declared ambassadors of your people, by the way. They have, at the very least, been living like kings for the few days they were in Catherine's care. Well, if they wish to go back to you, then that is their prerogative, he said. The three Ateni stepped out of the crowd that was behind Basilisk and moved to his feet. Saran walked right up to Kane. Good to see you, old friend. My, it feels like ages since I last saw you. Sorry for just leaving to see these Terrans up close, but for me, the most important thing in life is knowledge. Pursuit of knowledge over the fear of death, as our people say, he said. Kane scrunched his brow. Is that you, Saran? I do not recognize you at all. Still, don't actually, but the other two are over there, so that means that your wrinkly old self turned back into a youngling. I actually don't know what to say. I spent all this time fearing the Terrans as some sort of evil gods, but they knocked you back 100 years and gave you the royal treatment, even though you deserted. There would have been no merit. So tell me, what do you three think of the Terrans? You're the most experienced ones at the moment, he said. Volfan stepped forward. They are obviously gods of engineering. There is no other consideration to be had. They are worthy of worship by any standard. I read up on their engineering, and what I saw was so enlightening, they actually cried in joy at the marvels they have created. I view things that they have built in VR, and I truly got the scale of the achievements. The most amazing one is their main warship. The specs on that are insane, he said, with reverence in his eyes. Valenthi squirmed uncomfortably. Well, I don't know what to think. They seem like normal people to me, but they are our gods of old by blood. And the things they are capable of lend credence to the god theory. They seem like gods that came down from the heavens and tried to live a normal life, I guess, she said. Saran smiled. There you have it. These people are the descendants and final project of those who seeded all life within this side of the galaxy. They truly are gods in name and in action, he said. Kane looked at them with wide eyes. They are what? They are the Life Seeders? How? What? I need a moment. Please explain this at length, he said. Basilisk sighed. We really don't have time for that. I will ask your permission to warp my fleet into this system, as well as request your current system map, along with acquiring permission to deploy fleets in those locations as well. Some of them may be automated depending on how many systems you inhabit. I only have 37 grand fleets. That may not be enough to go around. I would also like permission to open a joint research program, where we will tell each other anything that may or even may not be helpful. We can give you the knowledge to defend yourselves, he said. Species Index incoming. Azarians. Henty Tenty the Tentacle Monster. Ateni, Mice. Ascari, Hawks, Ravens and Falcons. Zeni, Dogs. Armanus, Honey Badger. Kitanjo, Red Fox, Arctic Fox, Fennec. Razan, Rabbit. Yambi, Octopi, Cuttlefish and Squids. Sithis, Snake. Croochcock. wasps and bees, devouring scourge, ants, rantari, raccoon, yentiti, peacock, toucan, hummingbird, mogura, moles, Etanians, hyenas, keti, meerkat, lulus, lemurs, roktar, bearded dragons, komodo dragons, and gila monsters, shakuru, sharks, fell, dolphins, felis, kite, razari, spooders.